There we go. Now I can hear. Trying my new, or not my new, but trying my headphones tonight as opposed to um, my earbuds as opposed to my headphones. If anybody's in there, how does it sound? The rendering is still struggling tonight. Let's see what I can do about that. I can go away. I can go away. I'm gonna get started shortly. A couple minutes, see if anybody else comes in. What else can I do to clear up some of these frames here? That's not gateway. All right. Well, a little off my game tonight. I've been I had this idea in my brain for a little bit. I want to create a little app that I can implement in Roll20 or on on Twitch, maybe Discord. Multiple ways to do it. But what I want it to do, I want it to be able to. I type in a link in Roll20, or I do like a slash random encounter, and it'll run it'll calculate my encounter based off of my character's level. Probably have to put the critical rating in there for now. But what it'll do is it'll reach out to an API that a pre-made application out there for whoever doesn't know what API is, an app out there that it's recreated called Open5e, and it has a database of all of the monsters. I'll look at it real quick. Open5e. Let's go to Open5e. That's the same page. Sweet. So I can do a query on monsters, and it would go through. I'm thinking this is just monster name. Yeah, I think it's just the first book. I don't think it's anything after the monster manual. But it's got all these monsters in here. I can. Oh no, there's all these books. Sweet. So, it's got all these creatures from all these books that are all. They have created commands you can call to query and get this information. And so I can pull that in and have it create all this, pulling all this information to make it so that it creates an encounter that is safe for your character's level. But it's also got spells, it's got magic items, equipment, backgrounds, the character classes, and so it's only got the core rules for wizards. So I would take out all these others. Maybe it's stick with their original. Anyhow. Do they have Artificer in here? No. Just the core rules. So I'd have to figure out around that. But what it would allow me to do is create this thing, and then I can get a history of all the past combats and I can even calculate the XP out of it, and so much I can do with it. I'm excited to give it a try. I might try streaming it at some point. I haven't figured that out quite yet. But that's kind of where I'm looking. Anywho, that was my little tangent. Decided to talk about it. It's been in my brain a lot, and so yeah, just been thinking about it a lot. I would love to make it. I'd love to be able to use this. I am a programmer by day. Right, man, I mean, there's so many good things. I'm a developer by day, so yeah, it's not very far. I mean, there's all sorts of people have databases out there, like uh, Open5e is one. There's any like Wikipedia. I forget what that one big Wikipedia for uh, 5e stuff out there, but that has so much in there. That data that is just not easily accessible. So my goal is to take this 5e stuff, convert it into my own database where I can also add custom homebrew stuff in it as well. And it'll just be internal to me. I won't share it out unless somehow I can do it without being charged or any. Because it's in order to use somebody else's thing like Open5e, I would have to uh, uh, get permission from them and all that. Yeah, there's the WotC, so that's why I'd probably just do it internally for my own games. And I wouldn't use any, like I wouldn't steal any WotC data from anything outside of what they already have. Or anything that I've already purchased, because I don't want to. I know WotC is a pain in the butt sometimes, but you know, they're our pain in the butt. Anywho, let's get back to it. Where did we leave off yesterday? Yesterday we climbed down the. Two sessions. We climbed down the cliff, and Gygar had fallen and hit the bottom. That's where we had left off. We got together, helped out Gygar, made it to the center of the city where there's a temple that it looks like the previous party had rested at. While there, we were looking out front and we saw a giant bird flying away, many-colored rainbow bird flying away. So that happened. We also, Rika, oh, that's what it was. Rika was talking to us outside. She walked back into the overbrush. I turned around, went back inside. Rika was sleeping inside. Rushed back out to see this bird flying away. Then I went and checked out the arena. I stepped in blue fire because I thought it'd be cool, I guess. And it was not cool. It was the opposite of cool. It was hot. It hurt. But then I went into the arena itself, and the door shut, and I got attacked by a construct that was a fighting bot with many missed hits from both of us. And there's the temple. Many missed hits and later, and we got out, and I came back to the center where we rested. And I did a long rest, and I'm ready to adventure forth. With that, let's set this up. Okay, we're going to continue and go to 309. As you and Raja are leaving camp again, she points at the twisted spires toward the center of the city. Before I go any farther, I'm trying out my earbuds. How does the audio sound? Audio sound all right? Make sure you can hear me. All right, sweet. Good to hear. As you and Raja are leaving camp again, she points at the twisted spires towards the center of the city. That looks important, adventurer. I have a name. It's Stringson. You don't have to keep calling me adventurer. She says, if you would please check that out, I'm going to do a ground level search for expedition survivors. Give me a vote for if you want me to go take the assignment or disagree. A yes or a no. Just give a hashtag yes, hashtag no. All right. See if anybody else is in here to give me a. Go. I'm going to find the party. As soon as I remember how to do that. Okay, there we go. I got distracted. Raja thanks you for the offer, but she begs you to search the building instead. More people will filter in. There's some people lurking right now, but not many people watching. Raja thanks you for her offer, but she begs you to search the building instead. The survivors were my friends, she says. I'm not going to let someone else look for them on my behalf. When you protest again, she smiles. Truly kind of you, but I'm still the leader of our expedition. Her smile doesn't soften her tone, and I'm telling you that you're better suited to exploring that building there, while I'm best suited to finding survivors and threats on the ground. That's it. With your only options being between somehow surviving the trip back to the surface alone or following orders, you opt to follow orders. Fine. The spired building is easy to locate while traversing the city. Like your trip to the arena, you arrive unscathed as the elegant towers loom overhead. Despite its state of ruin, the spired building is as impressive on the outside as it is on the inside. Wherever bare walls show between the creeping tendrils of greenery, you see elaborate carvings and even the remains of a vibrant paint. On one wall, you find the remains of a mural depicting a lizard folk in ceremonial regalia, presenting a glowing crystal to some unknown entity. Though some of the passages leading away from the main entry chamber have long since collapsed and become impassable, there are several areas still open to exploration. Without knowing which door leads to what, you choose a passage at random. The first place you examine is a hall half filled with shelving units and tables. So it appears to be a library of some kind. At first glance, you don't see any obvious documents, but there could be something that has survived the centuries of rot and the looters who managed to find the city. And despite all the time that's passed, light fixtures still shine overhead. Huge crystal chandeliers hang from the ceiling. Searching for documents, you have to sift through the dust of long decayed paper or papyrus, along with shards of pictographic tablets that remind you of Zakah's holy text. Time is short and the library is considerable, so you will only have time to make a brief search. Do investigation or perception. Let's see. Investigation, perception. 16 on perception is high enough. Sifting through what you can only imagine is an untold loss of knowledge. You're beginning to worry that there is nothing to be found in this decaying library. But just before you're about to quit and move on, you find something solid and intact amongst the dusty debris. When you pull the items out of the pile, you see that they are 2 small polished stones carved with Zalethan pictograms. 2.1. Pulling out the stones and examining them, you find that their purpose leaps into your mind as you scan the arcane symbols on the surface. These are spells stored by the mages of Zaleth centuries ago. There is a spellstone of enhanceability and a spellstone of heroism. Add any of these spellstones to your inventory. Let's see. Do I have these? Spellstones are rumored to have been created by a lost civilization millennia ago as repositories for their magical power. These simple-looking stones are coveted, but their power can come at a high cost. Polished, semi-precious stones ranging in size from 1 to 3 inches and come in a variety of shapes. They act as magical repositories for spells that operate in a similar manner. Scrolls, the spell stored on the spellstone is cast to the spell scroll. Any class can cast spells from spellstones, even those who do not have the scroll spells on their spell list. However, any character casting a spell that is not on their spell list suffers a d6 of damage per level of the spell as the spellstone explodes in their hands. Whew. And there's my yawn. If the spell is in the character's spell list, the spellstone disintegrates harmlessly. Wizards cannot transcribe spells from spellstones into the notebook. Okay. If it's in the character's spell list, the spellstone disintegrates 1d6. So I have enhanceability and spellstone heroism. Let me look those up. Willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune from being frightened and gains temporary HP equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turns. I don't have a spellcasting ability modifier. I don't think. Hi, Spider. Heroism, and then what was the other one? Enhance. I always, when somebody says the spell, I always think it's one word, enhanceability, but it's its ability. You touch a creature and bestow upon it the magical enhancement. Choose one of the following. Bear's endurance, con checks, advantage on con checks, and 2d6. Bull strength, advantage on strength, and carrying capacity doubles. Whoa. For 1 hour. Second level. Oh. Target has a dex check advantage and also take damage from falling 20 feet or less if it isn't incapacitated. Eagles, Splendor. The target has advantage on charisma. Fox's cunning. Target has advantage on intel. Owl's wisdom on wisdom. Wow. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm probably not going to be using these anytime soon. But I will drag them over to my inventory page so I remember them. That PC, there we go. Spellstone. And I need to mark that they're, oops, which spells. Or heroism. All right. Let's do it. Where were we? I added them to my inventory. Oh, look, there it is. You're quite sure there's nothing else to find here, so you move on to the next part of this complex. You find yourself in a massive room occupied by what can only be a Zelethan machine. It doesn't seem to be running, and the room seems to have been scoured of all valuables. There are additional dimensions to the silence here, as though the large room is insulated from the rest of the world with its thick walls, but was at some time a bustling hub for activity. On the wall is a large rectangular indent, as if some massive slab of something had previously hung there. There may still be some items of interest in the room, however, and there is at least a chance you can figure out what the machine does. Let's do another perception. Let's perceive some stuff. Or maybe we don't. Let's just not perceive anything. The room has been ransacked so many times over the centuries that it's been picked clean. There's nothing here except the machine in the center of the room, which you examine next. You find a Zelethan crystal crookedly fixed to a similarly sized depression on the machine. As you examine the glowing stone, your hands brush against it and it clicks into place. The stone machine rumbles to life, its edges glowing the same blue as the Zelethan crystals. At a moment, the Zelethan crystal disappears into the machine entirely, and there's a faint clink in a slot just below the depression. A perfectly rectangular silver sliver of jade, about the size of a playing card and about a finger width thick, has appeared in the slot. Seems to be some kind of currency, which would make this machine Zeleth's mint. Ooh. I have like a bunch of crystals. I've got 7. I all right. How many should I make? Give me a hashtag, then the number, and see if we can get a vote here. And well, I'm not giving all 7. Just throwing that out there now. Okay. This doesn't work well if there's only 2 people voting. He does it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking of going 3. Uh, so we'll do. There's 1 in there already, so if I do 3 more, that'll give me 4 of these tablets, and look at that, it gives me 4 and 4. I like that. There, that helps people with my type of OCD out a little bit there. Alright, you can add more crystals to the press in the machine to create as many jade tablets as you wish. When you're finished with the mint, you can explore the next area of the lobby. Off the lobby. Alright, check something here. Okay. You step into a room that could only be used for addressing large groups. Though it's unclear if it's a theater, a lecture hall, or a public forum. It is made up of a series of concentric half circles rising up in tiers around a central presentation space. There are stone benches on each tier, but nothing else in the way of furniture or decoration except wall carvings and a mural faded beyond recognition. There are 2 exits leading off from the auditorium. One seems to be an office and the other a classroom or a laboratory. All right, office or laboratory, which one are we doing? Classroom first? Do a hashtag. Classroom. Well, you both said classroom first. Oh, it doesn't do it. Interesting. Well, 2 classrooms. We're doing classroom. You enter the classroom cautiously, sure that this was once a safe place, but not knowing what might have moved in. Uh, so I found a little bot that uh, anything you put in after a hashtag will count as a vote, and it'll poll. So if one of you does another capital C classroom or a lowercase c classroom, it'll actually tally it right underneath um, the chat there. Can you guys see that? I hope you can see that. I can see it. Oh no, please no. Oh, you can't see it? Hold on. You see the book, right? It was the Crystal Godzilla story, number 205 there, and my follower list or my goal. Oh, you can see it. Go me. I can read. Well, it looks like the rock falls on everyone and everyone dies. Has it? Good game, everybody. Good night. Um, I digress. Uh, You enter the classroom cautiously. Oh, the screenshot is in my Discord streaming channel if you want to see what we see. I do want to see what you see. It's probably what I can see, but yeah, that's what I see. I see the side of my head. All right. You enter the classroom cautiously, sure that this was once a safe place, but not knowing what might have moved in since its students departed. So you take every possible precaution. Despite your best efforts, however, you accidentally brush up against a carved stone object on a tabletop. A light springs from a dark aperture in the front of the object. An illusion springs to life at the front of the room, accompanied by the crackle of a complex auditory illusion. You see a translucent lizard folk in ceremonial garb going through what are obviously the semantic components of a spell, hissing and snarling the verbal components, saying something like, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope," but um, in lizard tongue, so it's more of rah 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 rah. Arcana check. 4. I rolled a 4. Though there is clearly some magic being performed in this illusion, you can't quite understand what the lizard folk is doing. You can tell it's very complex, however, so it is likely part of some form of advanced magic ritual. Alright, let's go to that office. You enter a space that has all the trappings of an office. The remains of a large stone table or desk, ornamental stonework on the walls, and some windows letting the bluish light from the outdoors. A section of the wall seems to have collapsed. In the rubble is a strong box made of metal. A dead body is in front of the safe, scorched and smelling of roasted meat. A broken crowbar sits on the floor between the body and the safe. You can examine the safe in the surrounding area, or leave it alone and return to the hall. Are we going to look at the very trapped safe, or are we going to not? Hashtag safe or hashtag leave. It's roasted. Oh, it's a good point. Yeah. One for safe. Never what you're saying. Oh, I can barely read that vote. Safe it is. I knew what you were going to say, Nevin. You see a stone strongbox in a pile of rubble, surprisingly free of moss and plant roots. It must have only quite recently been revealed by some kind of collapse. However, the body in front of the safe doesn't show any sign of blunt force trauma. Clearly a humanoid male, could be a human or elf. However, its features are horribly disfigured and the body is twisted after being burned to death. Huh. Fun. The dead body is clearly reaching for the safe, and you can see tools in its hands. The safe shows a matrix of symbols that are faintly glowing, what you can only assume is a combination lock of some kind. The would-be thief has a set of thieves' tools on him. Sweet, I got some thieves' tools. Come on. Use something to add this. Try a spell or ability to open the safe. Try to figure out the combination, or just try to force the safe open. I don't have any. I can try to figure out the combination or force the safe. I don't have spells or abilities to open the safe. Combination or force. Oh, I do have a lock. But you guys say combination. That sounds more like a puzzle. I don't have knock, Nevin. You just see my Arcana roll earlier, a 4. Yeah, I can't knock. We're gonna try a combination. You realize what the dead thief did not. There is no external lock to pick. Well, glad I didn't use the lockpick set. And though there are glowing symbols on the face that indicate some kind of combination, there's clearly no way that you'll be able to guess it. There are still other ways you can potentially open the safe. You can use thieves' tools to try to open it safely and indirectly. 15 or more. Oh, and I don't have any inspirations. Got a +3. I'm gonna give it a try. What could go wrong? Nothing. Nothing will go wrong. Whatever you did worked to open the safe. Its door swings open with a hiss and a shower of sparks. You step back to see if some trap is triggered from inside the strongbox, but nothing happens. The safe contains 3 Zalefin crystals, and a stack of 11 jade tablets. Oh, smaller jade tablets. Yeah, I'm making bank. Did you get the same number of items with the bash? I'm just curious if it's interesting. So I went through all this and I probably could have just hit it. Wait, there's a bag of holding? What? Ooh, and the damage. I get you. Okay. Oh, it's game over now. I've got a bag of holding. Hold on. Holding. Oops. I have the price. 25. Okay, save. What a brilliant item. I've got so many items. Google goggles of deep night. Don't need them. Oh, I gotta remember this in case I fight any more beasts. Oh, this resistance to any natural attacks made by creatures with the beast type. And Silver Star. Okay. I got so much gear that I bet if I tried to take this character into a non-solo campaign, the GM would be like, no. Okay. I got a bag of holding. From here, you can explore the classroom, which I already did, or go to the entry hall. Let's go to the entry hall. Due to collapse or time, there's nothing left to explore in what you started to think of as the cultural ministry. Despite the disrepair, you can easily imagine the grandeur that this place once exuded, especially after exploring its contents. After taking one last look around, you realize suddenly that you're not alone. Standing in the lobby with you is an elderly lizard folk in full Zelethan regalia. His scaled skin hangs and folds around him, and he is deeply hunched with advanced years. Despite the newcomer's apparent age, his clothing seems brand new. His tunic and kilt are made of sharp-edged scales of clay and crystal joined with links of precious metals. Long, vibrant plumes from tropical birds flare out from his headdress and cascade down his back as a cloak. No, he says in perfect common, I am not an illusion, nor a delusion, or any other figment. Alright, do we talk to him or do we attack? I I would think that we just talk to him for the way he drinks and things, but I want to hear what you guys think. He did just sneak up on us. Thoughts? Oh, how dare you? How dare you step away? Ooh, in a very similar moment, I got snuck up on by something, an elderly lizard folk that speaks common. Do I attack it or do I talk to it? I'm probably gonna talk to him because that seems more drinksome. Unless I get voted out the opposite, but Nevin's not voting. Rude. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to it. Talk to him. You greet the mysterious lizard folk in the elaborate investments. Already more polite than the last group that passed through, he says with a warm smile. If you would be so kind, what is your purpose here in Zeleth? Uh, are we here? Are we looking for rescue a group of researchers, find the treasure, or protect my companions? Rescue, treasure, Protect. Rescue, treasure, protect. Wait, this is... I was asked this earlier. I was asked this earlier by... by the Raja lookalike earlier. And what did I say then? I said... rescue earlier. I'm going to say that again. And I'm not getting the opportunity to protect them because I always get sent to other directions. So, you let the lizard folk know that you're looking for an expedition to the left from the surface. Ah, I see, said the lizard folk sage. Well, I'm afraid that some met an early demise as they rummaged around the city. The rest escaped not that long ago, before they did anything too dangerous. Ask them how they got here, or ask what's going on in Zaleth, or attack anyways. I wouldn't attack anyways. That's not what Drinkson would do. Uh, ask what's going on in Zaleth, or how they got here. Zaleth. So, what's going on in the streets of Zaleth? Any good shows coming through? The city of Zaleth was once a shining jewel of culture and wealth, the old lizard folk says. It was even above ground at one point. Oh, how I miss the sun! How I miss how the how I miss how the sun sparkled off the crystals. He looks wistfully around him as he can actually still see it, as if he can actually still see it. But that was all before the corruption, he says. That darkness that seeped up from underground like contaminated groundwater. The mutations started, first in the beasts, and then in the people. We all knew it was only a matter of time. But for the people who left it, came far too quickly. For the people who left, it came far too quickly. The old reptilian head shakes sadly from side to side. They left their homes behind to survive the danger of the city. But at least they got to return to the surface. Something must have showed on your face, because he looks at you slyly. Yes, that's right. The tribes of primitives scraping out a living in the jungles overhead are the descendants of the people of Zaleth. So is your companion. They are the ones who choose life. You look around you at the crumbling remains of the city, trying to imagine what this old lizard folk is telling you. When your gaze returns to him, however, he is gone, and you are alone in the ruins of the city once more. With nothing left for you here, you return to camp. You navigate the city without incident and climb the steps to where the companions have camped. Raja and Sakah are eating a light meal beside the burnt-out fire pit. Though you're not sure how it could be, you feel you've interrupted a conversation. Gygar is studying the door on the other side of the chamber, his whole body tense and his frustration palpable, even from this distance. Welcome back, Raja says when you approach. Anything interesting in that building? You tell your companions about the strange encounter. Can't say I'm surprised, Raja says. I've seen something like that as well. Not as a lesson, for sure, but other figures. Once or twice, even members of the other expedition. They always vanish by the time I reach them, though. Selethan strangeness, Zapas says. Poisoned. Wrong. Alright. We're going to do an insight check. $22. That is more than 10. Last time I did the math. You're clearly missing something, and it seems to be something that is shared between Raja and Zakah. They keep looking between each other, and Gygar working at the large door in the back of the temple. They know something about Zeleth that they aren't sharing. And it has to do with something with whatever is behind that door. What's behind that door? I should ask. Now that you're here, I think it's about time you helped Gygar, Raja says. He's already banished us from his presence, but he seems to like you. Maybe you can help open this door. When you ask how the door might help locate the other expedition, Raja nods absently. We watched survivors run from this place, she says. I need to know what they are running from, and I have a feeling it was something to do with that thing. She motions for you to go talk to Gygar. You stand and approach the flustered academic, fidgeting with his obsidian amulet. Gygar is frantically scribbling notes about the artifact. He examines its face, presses and twists at it, even breathes on it to rub it with a sleeve. When he notices his companion's attention, he sets it aside and pinches the bridge of his nose. He lets out a sharp snort and gnashes his teeth a moment before taking a deep breath. Or he gnashes his teeth a moment. It's a key, he says. I know it is, but I can't get it to work. Nothing here makes sense. Ask him what it might be a key to. Ask to take another look for yourself, or ask Raja what she thinks. Is it a key? Ask or no? Let's see. Key. Look, Raja. Key. Look, Raja. Those are our options. Ask about the key. Take a look at it, or ask Raja. Oops. I'm breaking stuff over here. Alright, there we go. Unbroken. I will look for myself. Or I will ask to. When you pick up the obsidian amulet, you're transported to the ancient Zeleth again. But the vision that slams into you is different this time. You see the same chamber that you are currently in, but it is spectacularly beautiful. Ranks of Zelethan warriors in colorful ceremonial armor are led by figures in multicolored robes holding feathered staffs and baubles. They all face the massive door ahead, beside which waits a powerful-looking Zelethan in ceremonial robes entirely composed of brilliantly colored feathers. The powerful figure raises a clawed hand, and the ranks of Zelethans drop to their knees, with the exception of a small handful. These few stride forward towards the massive sealed door. The feathered Zelethan calls out a growled blessing over the selected champions, and the door seems to come to life with a web of bluish patterns. Anybody else getting Stargate vibes? I'm getting Stargate vibes. But with that, the vision ends, and you're left standing in the ruined chamber holding Gygar's amulet again. Ooh, Arcana. Good at Arcana. Yeah, I got less than 20, that's for sure. Besides the vision itself, and some connection between that ritual and this amulet, you can't determine anything else about it. Handing it back to Gygar, you call Raja over to see if she can help with unlocking the great door for all of you. You, Raja, and Gygar stand together looking at the massive circular door in front of you. And you understand Gygar's frustration. It is very clearly an entrance of some kind. But there are none of the mechanisms you'd normally associate with a door. There are no hinges, no handles, and nothing even remotely resembling a lock. It's carved with the same geometric patterns you've seen elsewhere in Zeleth. But you haven't the context to determine whether they are functional or decorative. Two massive statues of Zelethan warriors stand on either side of the sealed entrance, and it is ringed with pictographs and sigils. It is a Stargate. Oh my gosh. The fact that you know how to spell that just makes me understand how much of a nerd you are. Much of the rest of the temple has fallen into some degree of ruin. So many murals and friezes that may have adorned the walls are now long gone to rot and ruin. No hint of growth shows on the doors, however, and it remains pristine. That is a good DVD to have. Like, we're talking, what was the original? SG-1, right? As you consider your challenge before you, you see a few different angles from which you could approach it. You might be able to dig deep into your arcane knowledge. Yeah, that's been working so well. Consider the historical significance of what you see, or simply use your senses to draw some conclusion. I'm guessing that's going to be perception, is that last one? History, I've got a -1. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Oh, and Universe. I never watched Universe. How good is Universe? I want to. Because isn't it that they get like lost or something? I'm getting distracted. Yeah, that's because was it just one? It was just Did it make a whole season? Or did it get cut early? Oh, right. Sorry. We can chat after. Uh, uh, you allow your eyes to roam over the door, searching for clues as to how to open it, and continue your search for the other expedition, or at least a clue as to where they went. Investigation or perception? We're going to do perception. Oh, struggling tonight. No, it's not true. I'm about 50-50. Despite your best efforts, you can't determine anything else about the door. Raja and Daigar make their disappointment obvious. That's rude. But Zakah remains as impassive as ever. Just as you are about to ask what to do next, Zakah strides between the rest of you and approaches the door. I feel like he was sitting there because nobody asked him if he knew anything. He just stood there. He knows how to open it. He didn't say anything. Zakah approaches the doorway with hardly a glance. He presses a palm into the bottom of the door. Yep, exactly. There's a rumbling, grating sound from behind the door. Vibrations run through the walls and floor, dislodging plumes of dust and debris to cascade gently downward on the party. Waiting done, Zakah says as he turns toward you all. Behind him, his handprint continues to glow. Must go under. You, Raja, and Geiger find yourself standing and staring with bated breath at the door as you feel something shudder to life in the temple. But then it stops as suddenly as it started. Zakah spins on the glowing handprint to see it also fade away to inert stone again. He hisses and screeches in what are clearly curses. He does so with enough rage that you're grateful you don't understand what he is saying. No, he finally says to his companions. Must go. Under the under. We must go. I'm sorry, Zakah, Raja finally says. I really am. Let's all get some rest. Give this some more thought. I'm sure we can figure this out. Just need to put our heads together, lad, Geiger says. He reaches out to pat Zakah's shoulder, but then clearly thinks better of it. The dejected warrior slinks back to his spot beside the fire pit. Raja distributes food and water from her own pack. Dried meats, cheeses, even some hard bread that hasn't quite started to grow mold. She even pulls out half full wineskin of brandy. I was saving these to celebrate finding the others, she says, though she's looking at the door the whole time. But I think it's a good idea to enjoy them now. The group of you sit down to quietly eat what feels like a gourmet meal on the floor of the temple. The massive stone face of your collective failure looming all... let's try this again. The massive stone face of your collective failure looming over all of you, eventually, you manage to get some much-needed rest. Getting the benefits of a long rest. I don't think I did anything that would require it. Oh, except my HP is still at 12. Um, 312. Let's see where we at the next chapter. I think that's a good stopping point again. We're at the end of a story. End of a day. take our long rest. We will actually go back. No, I lost my page. Where it came from. Okay, we're ready. All right. With that, we're gonna stop. We're gonna do another raid. I was thinking of just doing some Minecraft on Thursday this week, but I don't believe I'm gonna have the time because I have to prep for my campaign, my in-person campaign on that night. With that, looks like we're good for the week. We're gonna do another raid. Would you be interested in hanging out with the group we were with last night, or you want to try somebody new? Let's see if I can even find them. Oh, we're gonna go hang out with this guy. Yeah.
Billy the Moth Wasp.
Man. Wait, why didn't he get smacked down like Muso did? Wait, I'll be going into the fight with a handicap. I literally just fucking ripped out a bone.
Yep.
Hey, you have a weapon now.
That you do.
I have a weapon, but I can't use it when one of my arms are fucking limp.
Oh my goodness, we just got raided again in chat. Right as we're coming up to the end. It's Nerdy Gurdy Games! Oh my goodness, hello! Welcome back.
Yeah, I ripped out my arm for this brat.
Yep. And Loira is trapped in that bottle. She is crying profusely. She is trying to do magic, but it's clearly not working. There are 5 equally large-sized bottles. Each one, obviously, one for each of you guys. And Billy